Guys, it's Creech Boo from Drop Dead Ink again. So I was gonna do like a little I don't know, tell you about some new tattoo machines that I had recently bought in. But then I recently saw this video about the give in tattoo machines, which was pretty much completely incorrect. And I was gonna go through a bunch of these different style rotary machines and a coil machine here, and of course I got my little 9 round beater needle in here, and you should always have a beater needle because you should never really dry run your tattoo machines. um, so obviously this is a coil machine, and I will tell you one thing: coil machines are pretty much the only tattoo machines out there that have any give. Rotary is just by the way they're built, except for the Hummingbird Gen 1 will give you a little bit of give, but not very much. So I was kind of hoping to not really have to explain too much, but basically give is when your machine's running, you'll get a little bit of like softness when you're touching people's skin. So again, coil machine. You can see this armature bar here, which is the black thing, which this little nipple is attached to. And of course, now you might not be able to see it too good in this my little video, but if you guys do this at home, you'll clearly be able to see it. So if I'm going to drag this just right across my shorts, now you can see that stroke length. This is a shader, obviously, and it's got one heck of a stroke length. Well, you guys would be able to see this at home, and I can see it now, but as I'm dragging it across my shorts, like I can see that stroke length kind of tightening up, so that's basically give. And the reason why coil machines have give is because there's nothing solid in between the armature bar, which the needle hooks onto, and there's nothing in there. There's no bearings or anything, so you will get give from your springs, which most people won't really consider them springs, but these things right here are called springs, these little flat pieces. Now, if you can bear with me for about 2 seconds, I was just going to kind of switch this over. Bear with me for a couple seconds here, folks. Are we still on? Yeah, we're still on. Okay. Bear with me, people. I only have one beater needle, so bear with me. Alright, we're back. So now we have a rotary machine. Even though this rotary machine has an armature bar, again the same little 9 round beater needle, and this has a 4mm stroke length. This is a dragon hook. I don't know exactly what it's called. It's a nice little machine actually, but again, when I go to drag that needle, which my voltage is way up too high, so when I go to drag that needle, across my shorts, I don't see any give in that whatsoever. And the reason for that is, even though it has an armature bar, it has this steel, I don't know what you would call it exactly, but it basically kind of hooks onto this bearing. So even though it has an armature bar, this prevents me from having any give, because there's a solid piece of metal in between the armature bar and the bearing itself. The same with this is my Diablo that I actually modified. This actually has a spring. The only time I actually get any give in this is when, which is very rare, but when that is spinning, like basically when it gets off to the side there. So I have like a tiny, tiny little bit of give in it at any particular time, which is very rare. And the rest of them, this is a Hummingbird Gen 1. The one thing I will say about these is they have these two springs on each side here, and this does give you a little bit of give. And I do mean a very, very little bit. This is a Hummingbird Gen 2, pretty much made with the same steel type of thing that hooks onto the bearing, so there's no give in that. This is another Dragon Hawk, which I actually really like. As far as this is probably one of my better rotary machines. They're brass, they're a little heavier. But yeah, again, this has an armature bar and it's fully adjustable as far as your stroke length or your hit, as in rotary terminology they say. And this is a Thomas, basically a Bishop knockoff, which I was going to give a little review on. But again, there's no give in them whatsoever. So rotary machines, just by their entire makeup, just by the way they're built, do not give you any quote unquote give. So if you're running rotary machines, if you notice that your lines are a lot thinner, it's because the needle goes in and out so fast, and it doesn't leave any like a lot of pigment behind. Or if you notice, especially, I used to say it was all cartridges. At one time I was blaming cartridges, but as I've learned, it's just basically the way the rotaries are made. So like if you're using a cartridge needle, and you'll notice that like if you were to say use like a 5-liner, it would probably look like a single liner on a needle on a bar. It's not so much the cartridge itself, it's just the tattoo machine, which most cartridges obviously people are using with rotaries. Again, the only time you're going to get give is on a coil machine, and it's because there's springs, there's nothing in between them. And again, I would prompt you guys to do this a little experiment at home. Take a little beater needle. You can run it lightly across your shorts or your jeans or whatever, and you'll definitely physically see what has give and what doesn't. So if you have a coil machine at home and a couple rotaries or vice versa, whatever, you will definitely see a huge difference. And the thing is with give, as with coil machines, like I would definitely never do a color piece. Certainly not anymore. I've tried a couple of them with rotary machines, like big traditional style color pieces. I wouldn't do it anymore. Not with a rotary machine. They're great for black and gray, granted. So for like line work and anything with a pre-installed 3.5 millimeter. I mean, that was so against everything that we were taught like 25 years ago. There was like, you have a liner machine set per millimeter for liners, which is usually around 2.5 2.5 and 3 millimeters. Your shader or your color pack would be between 4.5 or more sometimes. A 3.5 millimeter machine, granted, it'll do a little bit of everything, but it's not going to be perfect for everything. So yeah, instead of like running all these machines through the paces and kind of show you, I can guarantee you, if you do this little experiment at home, try a coil machine, and you'll see the give. But literally rotaries, and especially rotary pens, there is no give, and it's just from the way that they're made that they don't allow that. I don't care if they have springs like my Diablo here, which is actually my best color packer rotary machine, and this has been actually modified since I first bought it, but again, check that stuff out or whatever. Unfortunately, you can't really always believe what you hear on YouTube or whatever, and I've heard some like guys out there that are really great, some guys that are doing some amazing, I'm not going to mention any names because I don't really promote or whatever, I try not to at least promote or demo anybody per se, but I heard this one guy, and he has a very reputable tattoo shop out in California, and they do like extensive tribal work. And he said he flat out hates rotary machines, even though he did like one tattoo with one. I think it was just kind of like a little promo thing. But yeah, he said he basically just hates them. I will tell you, the more tattoo machines I've been getting, I have basically every style rotary machine you can imagine. They haven't impressed me in the least. I would definitely, I'd buy a bunch of these or whatever. They're not super expensive. The Hummingbird was like, I don't know, 140 bucks. This is one of my better ones. This is an Thomas Bishop knockoff. Not bad. I never really particularly liked these style tattoo machines before I bought this, but again, I put a little lube on it, and it definitely increased the stroke length. When I first got it, it was kind of raspy, so I put as Bishop recommends, I put a little drop of oil here, and here, and I definitely got like more of a stroke length out of it. But yeah, a 3.5 ain't really gonna cut it. Not if you're doing like extensive color work. And again, the give, and with pens, they don't have any. And I don't care who makes the tattoo machine, who makes that pen, just by the way that they're made, you're not going to get any give out of a pen. They're direct drives, and that's it. And again, so if you notice, like, you have to use like a 9 round liner to get what you normally would get with a 5 round shape or a 5 round liner. It's not so much the cartridges you're using or your technique. It's flat out the tattoo machine. And I've noticed, especially with cartridges, with any of the pens that I have, like I have to use mega, like 11 round liners, 9 round liners to get what I would get with like a 5 and a 7 on a bar. And I hate cartridges anyway, but so keep that in mind. Again, don't always believe it. And again, please try this experiment at home. Just, take your little beater needle. Don't hurt yourself doing it, obviously, but just dry run it across your jeans or whatever. And you'll see the give. I don't really have to explain it. So a give is when, obviously, you have a little bit of the needle will actually give a little. But with any of these rotaries, even this, it's got a plastic piece, so even though it has a spring on it, that plastic piece is going to prevent it from having any give. The one thing about the Hummingbird Gen 1s is like this whole entire piece moves back and forth, and it has these springs right here, so you get a little tiny bit. And I will say too, there's different kind of nipples or grommets you can get. Like you can buy these really hard armature bar nipples or like softer ones, and this will make a slight difference. Like these are China made. They're really, really super hard. I don't even know why I actually have that on that, being in a rotary. But and again, direct drives by nature, they don't have any give, and all pens are direct drives. So there you go. And by the way, I just wanted to thank, I got a couple more subscribers. It's amazing. I actually got over 100. I'm totally surprised and totally pumped. So thanks for being on. Again, if you have any questions, email me, dropdeadtattoos0@gmail.com. My phone number is area code 413-329-0868. I have a Facebook page with some actual work on it, just under Drop Dead Ink. I don't know. Think Ink, and see ya.